So in the previous lecture, we discussed about what is automation, what are the elements of basic automation, what is the need of automation, what are the advantages of automation, what are the applications of automation, what are the various levels of automation. Okay, so with this, we move to the first main important thing in a production sector, one of the main important thing in the production sector, which is material handling system. Okay, so how these materials are handled right from a raw material to the finished product, how it can be handled in automation system. Okay, so what is the technology involved in the handling a material handling system? Okay, so what are the various types of material handling system? Okay, we are going to explore. And also in this lecture, we are going to explore another one which is called as a AGV, Autonomous Guided Vehicle. Okay, so what are the various types of AGVs? What are the technologies involved in the AGV? So let us see what is the introduction to the material handling system. Okay, so the very important thing to be noted in any production sector or a manufacturing sector is materials. Okay, so materials may be a raw material or the finished product, all are called as a material. Okay, so material handling. Okay, how we are going to have this material handling? Okay, so here let us define what is this material handling. It is defined as the movement, storage, protection and control of material. Okay, so we are going to move the material from one place to another place. We are going to store the materials, we are going to protect the material, we are going to control the material. Okay, so how we are going to do this, all this throughout the manufacturing and distribution process, including the consumption and disposal, that is called as a material handling. Okay, and this handling must be performed safely, efficiently, at low cost, in a timely manner, accurately and without damage to the materials. Okay, so the materials are moved, stored and tracked in our commercial infrastructure. Okay, so commonly used for large systems, we define the material handling as a logistics. So coming to what is logistics. Okay, so logistics is nothing but acquisition, movement, storage and distribution of materials and products, as well as planning and control of these operation in order to satisfy the customer demand. Okay, so there are two types of logistics. One is external logistics, another one is a internal logistics. Okay, so if the transportation is occurred outside the facility is nothing but the outside the factory. Okay, so outside the factory, if you are doing a transportation related, we could define that as a external logistics. Okay, so it may take a various modes. It may take a rail, it may a truck type, it may be air type, it may be a ship type, another one may be a pipeline. Okay, so it depends on the material we are going to transfer from one place to another place. Okay, that is called the transportation and related activities that occur outside the facility, you define as a external logistics. Okay, and if there is a movement and storage inside the given facility, you define that as an internal logistics. Okay, so there are two types of logistics. So with this basic introduction about material handling system, let us first explore what is this material handling equipment. Okay, so we categorize this equipment into four categories. Okay, one may be a material transport equipment. Second is a storage system. Okay, so for the purpose of storage alone, how we are going to handle. And next is a unitizing equipment. Okay, unitizing equipment. And finally, identification and tracking system. Okay, so previously we have discussed the material transport equipment, that is called as a logistics. It may be within the factory or outside the factory. Okay, the equipment is used to move the material inside the factory or warehouse or facility. Warehouse means a storage places. Okay, so there are five type of equipment available in industries. Okay, it may be in the form of a trucks, industrial trucks. It may be in the form of a automated guided vehicles. Okay, where there is no human intervention is there. Okay, and it may be in the form of a rail guided vehicles. there also there is no human intervention, okay, or it may be in the form of a conveyors, okay. So conveyors also it can be driven by its own, or it can be in the form of a hoist and crane, okay. So one example I want to point out here is a power plant, okay. In a thermal power plant they use the conveyor to transport the material, raw material from the mines to the field, okay, with the help of a conveyor, okay. So it depends upon the type of material and the quantity of material. Accordingly we are going to plan whether it may be a truck, it may be a rail guided, or it may be automated, or it may be a conveyor, it may be a hoist or cranes, okay. So this is about the material transport equipment. So next is storage system. Okay, so desirable to reduce the storage of material in the manufacturing. Okay, so the raw materials are to be stored. Okay, it is very important since we say that the production is going to run in a continuous manner in 24/7. We need to have a supply of raw materials always. Okay, so the production is continuous, so raw material to be stored, and the finished products are likely to be spent sometime in a warehouse before delivery to the final customer. Okay, so there are different types of storage system. So we categorize the two type of storage mainly, and two major categories. One is a conventional storage, another one is a automated storage system. Okay, so if you take a conventional storage system, it may be in the form of a bulk storage, it may be in the form of a rack storage, it may be in the form of shelving and bins and drawer storage. Okay, automated storage system, it is designed to reduce and eliminate the manual labor. Okay, there are two type of automated storage system. One is ASRS, that is auto storage and retrieval system. Another one is a carousel system. Okay, unitizing equipment in a material handling. Okay, so unitizing equipment is nothing but the container which is used to hold the individual item during handling. Okay, so it may be equipment used to load and package the container. Okay, so the container maybe it includes pallet, box, basket, barrel, tails and drum. Okay, so conveyors are very important in moving a material efficiently as a unit load rather than the individual items. Okay, so pallet and other containers are handled by the forklift equipment. Okay, so and also loading and packaging equipment. Okay, it includes palletizer which are designed to automatically load the cartoon into a pallet, shrink, wrap plastic film around them for shipping, and depalletizers which are designed to unload the cartoon from the pallet. Okay, so as a whole, unitizing equipment is nothing but a container which is used to hold the individual items during handling. Okay, or it is nothing but the equipment which is used to load and package the containers. So the last part of material handling system is identification and tracking system. It is very essential that all the material handling must include a mean of keeping track of material being moved or stored. Okay, so this is usually done by fixing some kind of label to the item or cartoon or unit load that uniquely identify its. Okay, so there are different ways of identifying and tracking system. One form is a barcode which read quickly and automatically by barcode reader. Another one is a RFID which may use a radio frequency identification, or sometimes even it may use a barcode or RFID. Okay, so maybe a combination of this. Okay, so first barcode is mainly used in all the supermarkets. Okay, so in order to have the easily quickly reading and automatically. Okay, another one is RFID. Okay, which is mainly used in the libraries and all in order to keep track of the exit and entry of the books. Okay, so this is familiar to all of us. So next, moving to the another part of the material handling system is nothing but the automated guided vehicle. Okay, so what is this automated guided vehicle? Okay, so it is a material handling system that uses independently operated and self-propelled vehicle guided along the defined path. Okay, so I hope you have explored this one. we'll be having some guided path will be there, and we'll program our machine or vehicle carrying a material handling to use the independently operated. Okay, so it is going to be powered by means of a battery. Okay, so that can allow many hours of operation, like 8 to 16 hours before needing to recharge. Okay, so the distinguishing feature of AGV is the pathway. Okay, this pathway should be unobstructive. Okay, so there should not be any obstacles, because it is a predefined pathway. Okay, so that should be noted here. And AGVs are appropriate where different materials are moved from various load point to various unload point. Okay, it is suitable for both automating material handling in batch and mixed model production. So with this brief introduction about what is AGV, moving to the categories of AGV. Okay. So as per the type of material, quantity of material, we can use any type of AGV. Okay, it may be a train type, that is you define that as a driverless train, or it may be a pallet truck type, or it may be a unit load carrier. Okay, so here you can see there are three type of automated guided vehicle. First one is nothing but a driverless train. Okay, so here you have a train. Okay, so you have a cart connected to the uh, train. Okay, and second one you represent that as a AGV pallet truck. Okay, so here you can load and unload the pallets inside the truck. Okay, this is also second type of AGV. Okay, and the last one is a unit load carrier, so it is going to have a single load. Okay, so roller deck for a side loading. Okay, so this is also another type of a AGV. First type of AGV, that is driverless train. Okay, so you know very well what is a train. So the train which is meant only for material handling, that is called as a AGVs. Okay, driverless train, which is mainly used in the factory sector. It consists of a towing vehicle. Okay, this is called as a towing vehicle which can pull one or more trailers to form a train. Okay, so you can see here there are 5 to 10 trailers, that is efficient transport system, and the towing capacity of each and every trailers will be 60,000 pounds. Okay, that is to be noted. Okay, so if you have more material to be transported from one place to another place, so in that case a driverless train is very sufficient, because it can able to pull more than more than 5 to 10 trailers. Okay, so 5 to 10 trailers is sufficient for efficient transport system. Coming to the pallet trucks, it is used to move the palletized load along the predetermined routes. Okay, so here you have a palletized load. So the capacity of AGV pallet truck may range up to several thousand kilograms, or some are capable of handling 2 pallets. Okay, so it is achieved for vertical movement to reach the load on the rack and shelf. Okay, so this also, it's very important to be noted here is, you want to move the material from the from this part to shelf, means a pallet. Okay, so if it is in the palm of a pallet, means it is easily you can have a vertical movement to reach the load on the rack and also shelves also. It is possible if you go for a pallet truck type of AGVs. Okay, and the last type is a unit load carrier. Okay, it is used to move unit load from one station to another station. It is also used for automatic loading and unloading of pallet by means of a roller. Okay, so inside itself we will have a roller, so where it can able to automatically load and unload. So it can carry the capacity of 250 kilogram or less. Especially these vehicles are designed to move a smaller load. Okay, so if you are considering a smaller load, we can go for this kind of unit load carrier. Okay, so that's why it is defined as a unit load. Okay, unit load means it can have a load capacity of up to 200 kilograms or lesser than that also. Okay, and it is possible to have a automatic loading and unloading of pallet by means of a roller in case of a unit load carrier. Okay, so this is also another type of a AGV. Applications of AGV. AGV is mainly used in driverless train operation. It is also used for storage and distribution, assembly line application, flexible manufacturing systems. Okay, so if you take a driverless train operation, the movement of large quantity of material over relatively longer distance. Storage means unit load carrier and pallet truck are used in this application. It may be either the ASRS, that is auto storage and retrieval system. Okay, so this purpose we can go for. And coming to the assembly line operation, unit load carrier and light load vehicles are used in this line. The production rate is relatively low, that is product spending 4 to 10 minutes per station. There are several different product model made on the line, each requiring different processing time. These assembly tasks are usually performed with work unit on board the vehicle, thus avoiding extra time required for loading and unloading. And flexible manufacturing system, it's starting the workplace or placed on the pallet fixtures by human in a staging area, and AGV deliver the part to the individual workstation. When AGV arrives at the assigned workstation, the pallet is transferred from vehicle to the station. At the completion, the vehicle returns to a pickup the work and transport to the next assigned station. Okay, so these are some of the applications of AGV. So coming to the vehicle guided technology, we say that these AGVs are these are independently operated, and it is going to take a predefined pathway. So how this predefined pathway is done by means of some guidance technology. It may be in the form of embedded guide wires, or it may be a paint strip, or it may be a self-guided vehicles. Okay, so there are type of navigation in AGVs is wired, guided tape, and laser target navigation. First one, wired navigation. The wired sensor is placed on the bottom of AGV. It is placed facing the ground. A slot is cut in the ground and wire is placed approximately 1 inch below the ground. The sensors detect the radio frequency being transmitted from the wire and follows. Okay, so your wired navigation, you will be the predefined path you are defining by placing a wire below the ground of 1 inch. Okay, so with the help of a radio frequency being transmitted, it is going to follow that particular path, that is called wired. So next one is a guided tape navigation. So AGVs will follow the automated guided cards, or which uses a magnetic tape for guided path. Okay, so AGVs is fitted with the appropriate guide sensors to follow the path of the tap. Okay, so it is considered as a passive system since it does not require a guide medium to be energized as wire does. Okay, so that is called as a guided tape. Next is a laser target navigation. AGV carries a laser transmitter and receiver on the rotating turret. The laser is sent off, then received. Again, the angle and distance are automatically calculated and stored in the AGV's memory. AGVs has a reflector map stored in the memory and can correct its position based on the error between the expected and the received measurement. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of AGV. So by means of AGV, one can reduce the labor cost, increase the speed of delivery, flexibility, transforming the material in the industries. The drawback is high initial cost. It should be recharged periodically. Will stop the delivery when AGV is forced off the path. So finally, applications of AGV is mainly raw material handling, work in process movement, pallet handling, finished product handling. Okay, so these are some of the applications of AGV. Thank you.